Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 21st of November, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, Commonwealth Bank share price hit another new record today, more than $157 per share, but like the market, it eventually ended the session flat. The biggest company on the ASX closed down just a touch at $156.23 a share. The S&P ASX 200 finished flat at 8,323 points. Overall, the banks were mixed, though Westpac had a good day. The miners were also mixed, though Fortescue Metals Group jumped. In corporate news, Web Travel Group, which was spun out of Webjet, has been told by its auditors to change its previous financial reporting that sent its share price down 4% today. The share prices of both Sayona Mining and Piedmont Lithium tumbled after an equity raise by Sayona. Those two lithium companies are set to merge. And an update on the story of the boss of Resolute Mining, Terry Holohan. Now, he has been detained in Mali after the gold miner struck a deal to pay $160 million to the Malian government. Mr. Holohan and 2 other execs have reportedly been released. Story number 2, Coles boss Leah Weckert has told a competition inquiry that the supermarket group is always looking to beat Woolies, and the number of major competitors out there has grown and now includes Amazon. Weckert also pushed in-store experiences, saying a few years back when Coles focused only on value, it actually lost market share. The competition inquiry heard that Coles buys about 15% of all fruit and veggies grown in Australia. Woolies grows about 20%, and the 2 big chains control 67% of the market. Coles says it monitors Woolies, Aldi, IGA, Costco, and now Amazon in all sorts of areas, the latter in place things like nappies, washing powder, and snacks. Ms. Weckert said customers had changed in the past 18 months. They're trying cheaper brands and certainly going to house brands. The ACCC is inquiring into the supermarket sector, including pricing practices of the big supermarkets and their relationships with suppliers. Story number 3, an attempt by an activist investor to end the dual-class share structure at News Corp has been voted down at the company's annual general meeting, ensuring the Murdoch family continues to control the company. Now, the Murdochs control about 41% of voting shares. Starboard Value had argued the dual structure that applies at the moment gives the Murdochs outsized influence, i.e. when Rupert steps down, he could put Lachlan in charge. News Corp has argued that the structure promotes stability and the company has done well under it. At the AGM, the proposed changes were voted down. Also, Rupert Murdoch is trying to change the family trust conditions to have sole control of News Corp go to Lachlan upon his death rather than dividing it among his 4 older children. We're still waiting on the ruling from that one in a Nevada probate court. Story number 4, Mineral Resources held its AGM today, and there was little sympathy for founder and Chief Executive Officer Chris Ellison, who's been embroiled in an alleged tax avoidance scheme. Chair James McClements started off by telling the meeting that Ellison lacked the judgment and integrity the board expected. MinRes has hired Elizabeth Broderick, the former Sex Discrimination Commissioner, to conduct a report into the company's culture. Mr. McClement said MinRes will exit or unwind business deals with parties related to Mr. Ellison. There have been all sorts of revelations in recent months of multiple corporate governance failings at Mineral Resources, and it was Mr. Ellison's first public appearance since the scandal broke. He expressed contrition and said, I quote, "I can't stress enough how much I hate what I've done and a dark cloud in my life that I'll live with forever." And story number 5, Wall Street's largest company, chipmaker Nvidia, has posted a slightly disappointing quarterly result, mostly because it met expectations. The rise of Nvidia is such that if it doesn't shoot the lights out, then people are disappointed. For the third quarter, it broadly met expectations, but no more. Its outlook statement was slightly disappointing. After our share price trading suggested the stock will fall about 3%, though it did come back a little later in the day. Bitcoin also pushed through $97 a unit. That's worth a mention this afternoon. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 21st of November, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.